Hello, welcome everyone. My name's Donna and I'm the founder of The Beauty Beat. Thank you. Oh. I won't take up too much of your time. This is who you came to see, not me. But I just wanted to say a couple of words. And I firstly wanted to start by paying tribute to the wonderful late Dr. Uchenna, who graced our stage last year, and just say to all of her loved ones how incredible she was. She was so supportive of the Beauty Beat from the very beginning, and she's sorely missed. So we're just sending love to her loved ones and thinking of her today, especially. And then I also wanted to just thank all of you ladies, everyone in the room, everyone in the building, everyone watching at home online. You know, the Beauty Beat was a dream of mine, to start an event where I could look out and see everyone and women that just looked like me. A beautiful event where we had incredible brands, incredible speakers, and just a really enjoyable day. But none of that is possible without all of you. Every ticket bought, every like, every share, every time you talk about it to your friends or anything, all of your support just means the world to me and to my team. And yeah, we just hope you enjoy. We thank you for all of the support. And yeah, here's to a gorgeous day centering and celebrating Black beauty. And now I'm going to hand over to the girl Tolly T.
Hi everyone. Okay, I know it's cold. I know you guys were outside, but again, we're going to go again. Hi everyone. How are you all doing? Good, good. We are here to talk all things hair, and I love that I look in the audience and I've seen every hairstyle, the natural girls, the braids, the wigs. I see you all and I hail you all. Hello everybody, and welcome to our talk. How are we all feeling? Good. Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself. I am your girl, Tolly T. I am here because I think I change my hair every 2 to 3 business days. I always say my hair is my favorite accessory. So I'm going to let the girls introduce themselves, and please say who you are, where they can find you, and also what your hair means to you. I know I sprung that on you guys, but I want organic answers. We'll go this way.
Hi, I'm Alicia Lartey. You can find me on Instagram at Alicia Lartey as well. My hair is an accessory. As long as it grows back from whatever I've done, it means something.
Hi, I'm Angela Onuoha. You can find me online as Crobella. I'm a board-certified trichologist, so everything about hair and scalp is what I stand for. And when it comes to my hair, for now, it's fun. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Mensah. You can find me on Charlotte Mensah on Instagram, or Manketti by Charlotte Mensah, which is my hair brand. And I've been in the industry for over 37 years. I love hair. Don't know what I'll do without hair. I just love it.
Hi, my name is Chrissy Bales, and my Instagram is Chrissy Bales. I'm the CEO and the founder of Chrissy Bales. So what does hair mean to me? It's everything, literally. It's the wig, everything. That's what hair means to me.
Hi, my name is Talisha, and I'm the founder and CEO of Elite Hair Lounge Salons based in London. I've been doing hair for over 17 years, and hair to me is everything. It's confidence, it's passion, it's expressive, and yeah, that's what hair means to me.
Hi everyone, my name's Rachel, and I'm a content creator from London, and my hair to me is also my everything. It's my crown, and that's whether it's long or short. It's my accessory, and I love everything hair.
Thank you. So at one point, we're going to do Q&As. So if you have any women questions, think about it. You can ask these girls. Okay, so like all good interviews, it starts from the beginning. And I say that because I want to ask you all your first hair memory. So I'll go first, give you some time to think. My formative years, I grew up in Nigeria. And I went to a school, which I probably why I do this now. I went to a school where we got given hairstyles every 2 weeks, and then we had to change our hair. So if you're Nigerian, their hairstyle's called batewo, which is a cane roll, so look like a clap. There was shukul, which is updo, but in braids. So there's all different hairstyles, and you'd go to a salon, or I say a salon, an auntie in a corner somewhere. And one of my first memories was her doing my hair, but she would like put my head first between her legs, and it's hot. And I'm there for hours, and I just always used to remember just knowing that I'm going to go do my hair, and I'm going to be sat between these aunties' firm thighs for many hours, and it was warm and sweaty and moist. So yeah, that's my first hair salon or hair memory. What are you guys?
Ooh, I think when I was in Ghana and I had red braids put in and like my hair's black, so the black parts were sticking out. And it looked really bad, but I went to go and take it out because I wanted to do something new. And they wanted to go and like actually cut the hair because I kept wriggling around, and people were saying to my mom that, oh, her hair is a distraction, she needs to focus. Mind you, I was just at the salon, I was there on holiday. So I remember my mom having to like rush up to them and be like, please don't cut her hair, please just leave it alone. And then my auntie, who's a real fighter, was just like, what do you think you're doing? Like, let the girl be great. I think, yeah, so my main hair memory is just like my auntie, my mom really sticking up for how I like to have my hair done.
Nice.
Oh, I have plenty, but I think that now that I think of it, I had this period in my life as a child that I wanted to do different colored box braids, and now that I look back at the pictures, like yellow and green combined, it looked awful, but in that time I really felt myself, so I think that, yeah.
Oh my God, I have so many, but the one that really resonates with this chat as well is growing up in Ghana. I went to Ghana from the age of 3 months. I was born in the UK till 11 years old. And we all had short hair because that was the look for school. So you would call it something like TWA, so it was like 2 inches. And the boys and girls, because the school believed that if your hair's not too groomed, it's not too done, you focus more on your work. So when I arrived in London, in my school, everybody had beads, cornrows, relaxed hair, braids, and there's me, dark skin, with the shortest hair. I was literally bullied for my hair, laughed at. Everyone's like, oh my God, look at you, you're African, you're from the jungle. So I'll go home crying to my mum. So she decided to thread my hair. Oh my God. Honestly, that was like the worst thing that could have happened to me. Honestly, I walked into the classroom and 3 students literally picked me up to hang me on the ceiling. Yeah, it was terrible. I remember just feeling so like, oh my God, like I don't know what came over me, but all of a sudden I had this power and I beat the hell out of them.
I hoped you'd say that.
I beat the hell out of them, and then obviously the bullying stopped. But full circle, like 20-something years later, I did the same hairstyle for Erykah Badu for the British Fashion Awards. Aww. And everyone's going, oh my God, it's amazing. But I remember going through that trauma, and that was like so terrible. I mean, it's in my book. You can read more about it, Good Hair. It was terrible, but that was my memory. It's not a good one, but you know. Yeah.
Okay, so the same with Tolly and Charlotte. I was also born and raised I was born in Nigeria and raised in Nigeria. So my mom is a head teacher, so doing hair is not on her to-do list. And I remember as young as 5, she put a wig on me because she could not do the hair. So, so for me, I think that's when I realized I can do so much with my hair in the sense of now finishing uni and then going into wigs, because I just thought, why not, But that's the memory I could remember.
My first hair memory would have been following my mum to a salon every 2 weeks to maintain her relaxed hair and wanting the same style. However, my hair was natural, and she was like, Talisha, you are not relaxing your hair at this age anyway. So on my 13th birthday, she treated me to my first press. Back then it was just a press, not a silk press. It was stringy, greasy, flat, but I was so happy with it because I was able to get this straight hair without chemically treating my hair. And she brought me to a local hair salon on our road, and I had my first press with Marcel tongs that burnt my ears, my scalp, and everything else in between, but it was all worth it in the end because I loved the finished result.
Gosh, my first hair memory was probably one of the first times I got braids, and I only remember it because of the pain. I had it done at an auntie's house somewhere. I can't remember. I just remember after she did the braids, I was laying on the chair waiting for my mom to pick me up in pain. And honestly, I had to take it out a few days afterwards because it was just that painful. So that's also not a great memory, but I absolutely love braids now, especially knotless that has come in, but yeah, that's my first memory.
It's so funny because like, so many of our stories are linked to the saying, pain is beauty, and it's almost like we're like used to the idea of going through pain, which I don't actually think we have to do, just to make that clear. But I think we're all here to learn some things as well, right? So when we talk about hair, the first thing people mention, especially with our natural hair, is moisture. What is the importance of moisture? And is that just like chucking some water on my hair every couple? I mean, I don't wash my hair often, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys, I've let you all down. But how can we maintain moisture in our hair? And I'll take that to the experts.
I think you've got to look at lots of different ways of maintaining the moisture, like even when you're about to sleep. Are you sleeping on like silk pillowcase? Are you using a silk scarf? Are you drinking enough water? What is your diet like? It's not just because a lot of people think moisture is to do with topical products that we're putting on. But actually, how we are with ourselves in the inside really shows on the outside. So there's no point in drinking like 10 cups of coffee a day, and then you're saying, oh, but my hair is dry. Like, you've got to look at everything like it's a true all-round. Obviously, there's things like steaming, trimming, using sealant. So use like oils, pomades, all of that helps. But I believe in all of my years as a professional, honestly, I feel like a lot of my clients, when they are going through stuff, and when I say stuff like stress, and emotionally they're not happy, spiritually they're not connected, mentally they're all over the place, it shows on their skin and their hair. So I think we need to go right back to basic and look at everything, nutrition, sleep, honestly, all of that. Like, to have the best skin, the best hair, all of that comes from internally. And then the outside, it's, of course, you've got the Manketi oils and the pomades to use, but I feel like definitely looking at yourself in the inside.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that 80% is an internal thing, and as soon as the hair grows out, the hair is dead, so it's more reducing damage or preventing damage. And that's what I see a lot with my patients as well, that there's a lot of stress involved, poor diet, poor sleep. Like, sleep is so important. And we also need to remember that nutrition-wise, the hair is like the last part that any nutrition goes to, because we don't really need it to survive. So to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, definitely the internal thing is that we kind of overlook, I think. Yeah.
I would say the same thing, because I feel like when it comes to wig, some people tend to neglect their hair underneath the wig. But I think that also comes with understanding that you need a leave-in moisturizer for your wigs. And it's like, you don't keep the wigs in for 2 weeks glued down.
Okay, Chrissy, at me. Gosh.
Can I also say, I would say that it starts at the shampoo bowl, so it's so important to ensure that you're using a high quality shampoo, conditioner and mask, because hydration, that's where the hydration starts, and then you want to maintain a good routine, a good regime and a good aftercare model for your hair. So a high quality moisturizing shampoo, such as Bumble, ultra rich shampoo is a really good nourishing shampoo for your hair, and just regular treatments and trims. Hydrating the hair with steams, and you can use a hood dryer or a steamer, but you want to be able to open up your cuticles and let moisture in. And it's all about how you then go on to maintain the hair after that, like these ladies have said, with internal health, regular trims and so forth. And that's what's going to keep the hair strands actually healthy as well.
I will say I'm an esthetician, so I have a very skincare-based approach to hair and moisture. So for me, moisture means two different components. So trapping the hydration in, like the actual water molecules, and then sealing it, like we said, with hypersealant, like an oil or butter or something like that. But for me, moisture begins at the scalp. So when I'm washing my hair, I will like actually apply hyaluronic acid to my scalp as well to make sure that's like nice and moisturized. Because for me, it begins there. Like we said, once the hair grows out, it's actually dead.
I think there is loads of noise about hair, right? We see so many YouTube pages. There is so much noise pertaining to black hair and how we look after it. If we were to go back to the basics, what are the three? Do you know how you have skincare? It's cleanse, tone, sorry I failed you, and other things. With hair, what would you say the basic routine should be for someone who is just like, I just want to look after my hair, make sure it's good, but I don't have time for the noise?
Thing like, is it Alicia? Yes, I feel like definitely healthy scalp is healthy hair, and the root of all our hair concern is the scalp. So definitely, like I just launched a product that we've used in the salon for nearly 6 years, and it's amazing. It's exfoliating your scalp, because your scalp is the extension of your skin. So the same way you'll have like, I don't know, people have like 6 steps for their face and their skin, but when it comes to our hair, we have a shampoo, conditioner, and maybe some people don't even use the mask or the treatment or the reconstructors. So definitely look at your scalp. And then I definitely think like something that kind of protects the hair. So whether you keep them in a twist, because like right now it's so cold, and there's people blow drying, straightening, you go outside, next thing is all puffed out. So I feel like just when the weather's like that, just maybe put in some braids or some twist. Again, using a sealant. So it could be an oil, a pomade, or some leave-in. And then the third thing that we, in this, our society, we're so scared of trimming our hair. I don't know what it is. Everyone comes in, they're like, oh, I just want a little bit off. But like, sorry, your name? Angela said, like, once the hair grows out of the follicles, it's dead. So we need to keep trimming it to get rid of all the old hair, the environment, the pollution. The hair's actually, we're only putting products in it to make it look good. The actual hair is gone. So the actual good part of the hair is maybe the first 3-4 centimeters. Everything else, we're just putting butters and creams and high quality shampoos and conditioners to make it look good. But honestly, I feel like, yeah, it's just looking after it, like just 3 basics.
Scalp, shampoo, condition.
Yeah, I definitely think the scalp, shampoo and condition, like maybe like every 10 days a good steam.
Okay.
Yeah, and then definitely every 6 to 8 weeks, a trim. A trim could be a centimeter, it's not a lot.
I have a confession. I don't think I've trimmed my hair in the last 5 years.
No.
Yeah.
We need to
I
get
don't
you
think
in.
you're the only one, though. Yeah.
Wait, who has trimmed their hair in the last 2 months?
Be honest, be honest.
3 months.
There's quite a few. 3 months.
6 months. Okay, my people. A year. 2 years. Who has never trimmed their hair? Ah. Okay. That's good to know.
You know what's funny as well? I have people that will come in and they'll say to me, oh, I have to wait for the moon. And I said, what moon? What did I wait? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what is going on? You know? Yeah, so.
Well, I think 3 steps is quite difficult, but I do want to mention that I feel like the reason why there's so much chaos around like hair care in the Black community more so has to do with there not being that much science behind it, because we weren't kind of left out. And I'm a science geek, so I look at all of the clinical tests and claims that products seem to make. What I've noticed is that about like 2-3 years ago, they're becoming like more studies involving Black hair as well and a texture of it as well, to see if there's a similarity between straight hair in comparison to our textures. And there was a study actually done this year when it comes to washing the scalp, because I feel like we're kind of scared to like frequently wash because we feel like it dries our hair out. But studies have actually shown that frequent washing is better for mainly our scalp, but we just need to make sure that we also really condition afterwards. So I think it's more about the methods than really about like the steps in it. So I would always say frequent shampooing, and it doesn't have to be like every day. don't have to do that, but at least once a week is what I always suggest. Always follow up with a conditioner or a deep conditioner, and I would say 4 steps: leave-in conditioner, and then some kind of pomade or oil that you can always apply to reduce the amount of friction. Especially with our texture, the biggest cause of our hair damage, 9 out of 10 times, is friction, and something like an oil or a pomade basically forms a film around the hair to protect it also from the other strands around it. So I would say that.
Amazing, thank you. Okay, so I don't want to incite a hair war, but I do want to talk about texture, mainly relaxed hair versus natural hair. And like I said, there's, again, loads of noise about that. How many of us in the room have ever relaxed our hair? With consent or without consent, because it was done before. It was done for me before I could say yes or no. And there is so much noise about relaxed hair and what it does and what it might cause and health concerns and things like that. And like you said, there's very much a lack of science behind stuff because we're left out of research so much. Yes or no to relaxed hair in terms of our health for our hair?
Health, it's damaging. We cannot deny it, but I also feel like hair is supposed to be fun as well, and just know how to work with it, I would say.
Okay.
Don't overdo it.
Okay.
That's with everything, right?
I think it's up to the individual because, like, I feel like we all go through this cycle of, you know, doing braids, and you go natural, then you want to wear wigs, and you wear weaves, and you go back to, you know, some sort of smoothness, which is fine. I feel like the hair is an extension of you, and you want to express yourself. So if someone came to me and they wanted a pixie cut, there's no way she's going to get that smooth and the movement and the layers with, yeah. And I think also when it's relaxed and it's a pixie, it's so easy to go back to natural because it's so short.
Yeah.
That's what I did last year.
Yeah, and I think it's really up to the individual. As long as you look after your hair, you maintain it, steam, look after it. I mean, that's the key to any hair. Any hair.
Yeah, I would say it's whatever suits your lifestyle. So whether you've got to get up to go to work every morning and you need something quick, whether you go to the gym, you don't want your hair to frizz and you still want to look presentable. I would say it's more of a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
And I think that also society kind of has changed in the way that people look at us rocking our natural hair versus relaxed hair, that in the beginning it kind of felt like we needed to do it to be accepted, and now we kind of have more freedom to decide what we want to do. I think that also makes a big difference nowadays.
So I've had both. So I've been relaxed and I've been natural. And I saw benefits in both of them. And I think it's mainly down to what you want to do. I think with relaxers, I found the best way that my hair grew with them was to use them in moderation. So not to use them like every 4 weeks, or like you'd have to sort of stretch them out. So don't use them so frequently. And I found really good growth with that. And then I quite like them. I think I changed to natural only because I had to cut my hair because I had a bit of breakage. And I thought I should have a change. But I have no qualms about relaxers. I just think you should just use them in moderation.
And I think relaxers now are a lot better as well.
Nowadays, formulation-wise,
more conditioning benefits. So it's how you use it. Some people only need to relax their hair like maybe 40%, so it's more like a texturized. There's also texture release. That's really popular now. So there's many different options on the market. It's not just relaxers.
Do we have any facts to know if relaxers affect our health somehow? Because I've read a 30-page article on this, and yet nothing was definitive.
Yeah, there's actually quite some lawsuits going on right now against quite big cosmetic companies when it comes to the relaxers. There has been a study done to see if there was quite a big amount of black women who had uterine cancer, and they tried to link it to the relaxers that they were using. So far, there's no proof that there is a link, but they do say that the amount of black women who had the uterine cancer, a lot of them used relaxers. So it's kind of indefinite, I would say. But there's no direct link so far. But I feel like give it a couple of years and we'll have more evidence. It's just so far, I think 2 studies that have been done, so I feel like we need to study it a little bit more.
Great. Okay, so Charlotte, you mentioned texture releases. What is the difference between a texture release and a relaxer? What's going on?
So the texture release, I don't actually even do it in my salon. Do you guys
Yeah,
do it
we
more?
do it.
Yeah.
So, texture release is a semi-permanent option to smoothing your hair, to having it straight. It lasts up to 12 weeks. It washes out the hair, and it doesn't permanently alter your curl pattern. I do know, however, some people do experience curl pattern alter. However, this isn't due to the treatment itself. It's due to the aftercare of regularly straightening your hair. Because typically, once you've done a texture release, you tend to then use thermal tools on a regular basis. So if you do experience any curl altering, it will be from thermal styling rather than the treatment itself. So the treatment itself is semi-permanent, washes out the hair and lasts up to 12 weeks. A relaxer, however, is a permanent smoothing solution that is permanent. It chemically alters your curl pattern, and this is a permanent solution that has to be grown out of the hair. So if you do choose to grow out your relaxer, then that will be deemed as transitioning, or obviously you can go for a big chop and start fresh.
But I've had clients that have literally had the keratin treatment and all 1-2 years is still in the hair.
Because I would say that it depends on whether it's the keratin
brand,
or the texture release. So texture release in itself is a whole different brand. But I
milder.
have found that keratin can be very strong for the hair. I don't recommend keratin treatment initially for afro hair. I do find the texture release is a lot milder and actually washes out. Yeah, that's the Avalon one,
But I also think the starting point of the hair history is just like hair dyeing as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't consider their own hair history where they've done chemical processes before, not only like relaxing, but also hair dyeing that leaves the hair already in a damaged state, and it being more, that the risks are high, that even with a texture release, there could be some texture difference afterwards.
And so while we've got everyone in the room here, or you've got you guys here as well, I wanted to talk about the business of hair. Why are you laughing? Because I think it not only affects the business owners, it also affects the people who use these businesses every day. And I don't think there is a month that goes by online where someone doesn't accuse somebody of this or being ill-treated within the haircare industry. And I think as black women, I speak for myself, as a black woman, I feel like it's taken me years to actually enjoy doing my hair. It's like the thought of doing my hair is, oh God, because like I've grown up in like going to salons where you're there with an auntie. I've dropped an auntie to go pick up her kid mid-hair appointment, and we've come back and we've returned. She told me to get there at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, she said she's still coming. So there was that, and then now it's the pre-book, my bookings are done. So it doesn't feel like we ever get just a smooth experience of hair. And I have this deep envy for like my white friends who go get a blow dry at lunch.
Quick, yeah.
And they're back within the hour. You dare me to go anywhere, to do anything to my hair within the hour. It's an absolute myth. How and what can be done to just improve the experience for all?
I think it all depends on the type of salon because, I've had my salon in the same place for 23 years, and honestly, everyone that comes there, it's a very kind of enjoyed experience. Even if you're having your braids and it's 4 hours, or a wash and blow dry that's an hour, it's a space where I think people come there to get filled with like encouragement, filled with joy, So I don't know other salons because I've not been there, but from where I'm coming from, I feel like we've kind of got it to a T, and everyone that walks through that door walks out with 100 times more confidence. They made friends, they're coming back, and we've had repeat customers. So I think it depends. Everyone needs to look at what it is that they're doing. What are you offering? Can you do it a bit quicker? Do you need more staff? Like maybe there's one person doing 10 people's hair at 11 o'clock. So there's a lot of waiting around. So that person that runs the business needs to look at the strategy of the business. What do they want for the business? And it's also good to keep looking at your business. Don't just think, I've got 1,000 clients and they come in, I'm busy. You need to always, every year, like I have to relook at everything. Where do I want to go? Am I going the right direction? even my team, do I want these people still in my team? So you've got to look at everything. It's not just, it's a whole all round. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's the full experience. My partner is in events, and that's also what he always explains to me, that you need to have that eye for detail. It's in the smallest things that can make people feel so special, and I feel like that's the same in a salon setting, where you need to think the bigger picture, not only when the customer is sitting in the chair, but also how the booking system is going, like that they really feel seen and not just be a number. So it's about the full experience.
Yeah. And also another factor is our hairs, you can't do our hair in 30 to 20 minutes. You know, the hair takes time. And like, you know, the person wants to look nice, you can't rush it, you're not a robot, you can't be like, you know, so I feel like we kind of need to look at everything, like in our businesses, and maybe ask for help. You know, someone that's doing it well, you can shadow them, ask them to mentor you. We need to speak out to each other more and reach out. Like Chrissy was saying to me, oh, I've heard so much about you, I've never met you, and we've been talking. And in fact, we've shared a lot of business tips in the last 20 minutes. And that's how it should be. Yeah. You know, if you see someone that's doing something really beautifully that you admire, reach out to them. They're your sister, for God's sake. Yeah. And they're doing it, and they're doing it well, and you're admiring it. That's why you follow them. So why don't you reach out? And that's the only way we can all get better, because, you know, one man can't do it on their own.
I think there's one more main thing that we're forgetting. I think that's the price. The price point. Because the thing is...
Go, Chrissy.
No, but it's the truth, because the thing is, I can afford to have the salon in St. John's Wood and have the clientele that I have, and they come on time. Even if they are late, there's like about 4 hours gap between each client and stuff like that. But that's because of I can afford to do that. A lot of people, like what you were saying, a lot of people, like the aunties, they can't afford to do those things. They can afford to fit you in when they can. And I feel like that's like an important thing with us, is like the business part of the whole process. I think we need to think about them, and what do you plan to achieve? What is your aim? Yeah. So obviously having a luxury salon is different, which I feel like most of us here do. However, there's the other part of it whereby I feel like a price point is also one of the things that affects the services people are getting.
I feel like when we go into any form of beauty, nobody teaches you how to run a business. So you learn everything like on the job. There will be a point where it's not a super profitable thing, but your love for whatever you do is what's keeping you going. Like booking systems, for example, we didn't really have like acuity scheduling, faces, whatever, like a while ago, and people used to like have to DM to book, email, whatever, all of those sorts of things, and it can be like a bit time consuming. But I think like for example with me, when I had my space, I spoke to my friend about her booking system. That one didn't work for me. I found one, and there's like a lot of things that you can also automate to like take the load off of yourself if you are running your business by yourself.
Say, you know, when you have a business, you set a standard and then you aim to maintain it, and always look to, I suppose, grow and exceed your customer expectations. Yeah. So always listen to your customers' feedback, criticism, and use that as an opportunity to implement changes within the business, and just constantly look at that, to be honest. And yeah, I feel like that's what helps the business thrive.
So, like, you really need like a manual, like a plan. Yeah. Like, it's so important. A lot of people don't just go into business, no plan. A business plan is like, it's like your manual, it's like your Bible to what you're running, like day to day, month to month, year to year. And at any time it can change, because life is not always, you know, smooth, and sometimes it's challenging. Like right now, it's really tough out there. Like, you know, you have clients that would come in, they used to come every 2 weeks, now they're coming once a month. So what do? We try to do like little events to bring them in, bring your friend. You know, let them experience the salon. Maybe they've not been before, they'll like to come by. Them coming to the event where you've spent a little bit of money offering some small nibbles, drinks, they get to know your space. They're like, actually, I really like this, I'm gonna try coming here. So you have to look at all different ways. It's not just a one-trick pony. It's so many different ways.
Yeah, I would say also that running a business is also, it's not about, you know, the CEO just running it. It's also about who you employ and keeping the business afloat. So it's also important to I suppose keep your team happy, implement training. It's you're constantly having to grow within.
Sometimes I feel like I'm running a support group because you're like, the team, they know, like, where's your enthusiasm? Everyone's so like tired, they're fed up with life. So you have to manage that. You have to make sure they're encouraged. You have to make sure they're filled. You have to fill yourself as well. So you're like, my God, this is a lot of work, you know?
I think also on the less glamorous side, like insurance, accounting, all of those things, making sure that your checks and balances make sense is so important. So like when something does go wrong, because you can never tell, having insurance makes like the world of a difference.
I got a call first thing this morning. The girls have opened the salon and said to me, the lights in the front are off. What do we do? They're not turning on.
We do hair in the dark. I was also going to bring up to your point, because you mentioned price point. And I think now, again, like, I think nearly everyone here said my hair is everything. And I think if you guys ask what you feel about your hair, it means a lot to you. But we're also trying to get the cheapest things to pay for it. And I think when it comes to black hair, for example, like, we'd complain that braids cost £200, but sis is standing for 10 hours. What would you do for 10 hours for £200? Ain't a thing I would do for 10 hours just for £200 alone. And she's doing exactly. So I'm really interested to see how we all talk about our hair meaning so much to us, but somehow in the black space, it feels like it's something we don't value with money. Yep. What's up with that?
I think it depends on, like Alicia said earlier, the standard and the goals that you've set for your business. Like, my salon's in Notting Hill. It costs a lot of money to run that salon. There's no way it's going to be the same price as Kilburn or anywhere else. So you know that you're coming to like a first-class salon. The experience is premium. We're using quality products. Nobody's forcing you to come there. So, you know, if you can't afford it, we have levels as well. We have like a junior stylist price, you know, senior stylist, and then obviously me, I've been doing hair for 37 years. I get flown all over the world to do hair, so I'm not going to stand there after 37 years for you to beg me to pay £10 or something. It's just, you know, it's so unfair to me, and it's just not right. I feel like that's disrespectful, and I've worked so hard, and I'm not only just giving you confidence on the outside, I'm giving you confidence on the inside. You're enjoying my space. I'm also DJing, playing some good music, bringing you. You know, I'm offering you my lovely home cake that I've baked myself. Like, I mean, come on, you know. So it's the experience, and I think people that know what to expect, they love it. They support you. They would always come, and then there's always going to be some that will try and say, "Oh, it's not for me." But I think there's a salon for everyone.
That's
though.
what
There's
I
definitely a salon
I believe
for everyone.
so too, because I feel like I'm in a different range because I make wigs, and our salon is in St. John's Wood, and when I say to people, it's like the overhead cost. It's an overhead cost. Yeah. So it's like everyone's like, "Oh, but I can get my wig from this." That's okay, because the thing is, there's different wigs for different people. And what we do is so different. Like standing there, creating that wig with people's measurement from start to finish. So I feel like, for example, I know that I have some Jewish client. The wig that they make costs $7,000, $9,000, $10,000. Wow. But because they've calculated every single part of it, and I'm talking about the hair, their time. And I feel like sometimes, if you think about how long you're standing for 12 hours and you're not even making £1 per hour standing, it's, you know, so for them charging $7,000 for a wig, it makes sense because they're probably, you know, getting £10 per hour standing. But to us, I feel like everyone thinks you're robbing them, but it's not. You're getting quality. You're getting a service for, like, from the time you walk into that salon, everything. From the product, from the music, from the food, from everything you get, everything is thought of. Even the music we play is actually planned. It's not just any music that we play. So it's like... It's an experience. Yeah. So I think that's what we need to start appreciating more of what we offer. Wigs, like, can go so wrong as well. And when it goes wrong, you don't say, "Oh, yeah, sorry, your wig has gone wrong." You have to start all over again.
I also
So-
think that, like, whilst times are very tough, another method is also just like altering payment methods as well. Like, I have seen some places for wigs in particular offer payment plans,
Yeah, we
like
do. We have
afterpay, all of those different things. Sorry, my laugh is so ugly. But like offering all of those different things,
Yeah.
even maybe like how you structure your deposit, and then within that, like the booking fee, or even just making sure that every part feels like it's worth the spend. Because I think some people just attach a price to something just because they want to make X amount
I
of
think
money.
that's it.
And then there's other times where it's like you've built in your overhead costs, your staff costs, your tax, your accountant that you're paying to reduce your tax,
Your
and all of the
VAT.
other little different bits as well. And then also there's the whole ethically sourcing of hair as well. It's impossible to get cheap hair that is ethically
That's
sourced.
good.
Chrissy is passionate. I hear it. No, I really hear it. And I have a Chrissy wig, and yeah, rightly so. You should be. Just for you, Rachel, as a client, because you don't have a salon. As a client, sometimes when you go to go get your hair done or whatever, what value do you put into it monetarily?
I would say if the stylist sort of focuses their time on me, and I feel like they are, this is like a personalized experience. I think if people, like, if time is split a lot of the time, sometimes that happens. If they go off for a certain amount of time, come back, and then go here for a certain amount of time, come back. I think the person doing your hair, like, if they're focused on you, I feel like that's part of the experience. Even if it varies, so sometimes somebody will wash your hair and then somebody else will style it. But I think the individual people, like, if they're taking their time with you, it makes it feel a bit more, let's say, premium. You feel like I value this, yeah? I feel like that's value for money.
But I think that would still go back to the training of the salon.
Yeah.
How they operate.
Yeah.
How the individual stylists are trained, the juniors, even meeting and greeting the client, consultation. All
It
of
makes
those
it
things.
makes a difference. It really
Makes
does.
it-
And
makes
I think from a consumer point of view, I think times are changing. So a few years back, I think prices would have been drastically different.
Yeah.
And I think now people are starting to value the services they provide. So prices are changing. I think their time and things that go into it. So I think as consumers, we're sort of getting used to the new sort of price changes. And I think as long as the services provided make you feel like it's value for money, I think people will start to accept. Yeah.
Absolutely. And before I take the questions from the audience, I just wanted to ask you guys the typical question. One product that you could only use forever, what would it be?
Would only be my Manketi oil.
So that's the Charlotte Mensah maintenance oil.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. What's the link?
You can get it everywhere, really. Liberty, Space and Care, our website, our store, Harvey Nicks.
Amazing.
Net
All
Supporter.
the big stores.
Yeah.
You guys, everyone else?
One. Forever.
Ever. Forever, ever.
Well, for now, I will say for now. I've really been loving the pattern mask, the hair mask. It's actually, you can use it as a hair mask or as like a pre-poo treatment. I'm really big on detangling correctly, and it gives so much slip. So I like my hair to be detangled before even shampooing, and that one is chef's kiss.
I would say wigs because I feel like, yeah.
A good wig.
Multiple,
a good wig.
multiple.
Yeah, because I feel like my hair actually started growing when I started wearing wigs, literally, because I maintain my hair care maintenance is on a different level. But yes, I would say wig.
For me, we've recently started using Bumble and Bumble products in our salon in the last couple months, which we're loving. And one of our top staple products in the salon is the HIO UV primer, which is suitable for heat protection after you've shampooed your hair, so use prior to blow drying. It can be used after your hair is blow dried, like for aftercare, to maintain moisture in the hair. It can be sprayed on your braids, sprayed on your cane rows under your wigs, and it just, all in all, is just like an all-round product. So that's our top staple, probably top selling product right now in our salon.
I would say, so my hair gets very dry very easily, and I would say my favorite deep conditioner would be the Joico Moisture Recovery Mask Balm. That's a really good one. If I was to pick any deep conditioner that I would use forever, it'd be that one.
I was using that for inspiration, but I don't know, maybe the Red Ken acidic bonding concentrate mask. I don't like to deep condition. It needs to be done in 5 minutes, and I feel like
Quick.
mask it does it for me. Detangling made so easy. I don't pre-detangle, I just go in.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some time to ask some questions. We have a roaming mic around, so if you have any questions, just put your hands up and we'll get a mic to you. Okay, we have one here. Hi, lovely.
Hello.
If you could please tell us your name and your favourite hairstyle on you.
My name is Grace. My favorite hairstyle, I would say it would have to be braids.
Nice.
I'm a braid girl. I tried wigs. It didn't love me. I did try there. So my question is, well, I got two questions. So the first one is, how important is knowing your hair type? So like 4C, 4B, low porosity. Does it really matter when it comes to products? Do you really need to know it, or is it just try it out, see what works for you?
But maybe we think differently. I don't know. Hair type, I would say hair type gave us guidance, but isn't key to follow.
I felt like all these hair types, it's like, honestly, it's like a marketing tool to know what products to buy. Honestly, because within one person's hair, there's so many
hair
different
types.
textures. You can have, the back of your hair could be like an Asian lady, so it's...
But it helped in the beginning. I feel like in the beginning it
It
helped.
did, but I think it was something that was created by the natural hair community in America. And I don't really go by that, even though I had to. I was forced to write it in my book, which I was so against. But I don't really go with this hair type thing, to be honest.
And then porosity was as well, right? I think that with textured hair, the porosity could be a little bit different, but even then, it's all about preference in the basics. And the longer your hair gets, the more porous it gets, because obviously it has a lot of wear and tear. So a lot of it is about preference, and the methods are actually the same.
And you could also have different levels of porosity all over the hair, depending on how you style your hair. So if you have a leave-out, then your leave-outs will have higher porosity. So it's going to be a bit more damaged and so forth. So I don't think it's really important to know.
I had traction alopecia. So that's a really, really big thing that I see a lot among not just black people, but I think more recently I've seen a lot more videos on that. So my question is once that happens, is there really a way to get your hair growing again? Is there actually an oil? I know rosemary's really been big on TikTok recently. Does that actually work? Is it a facade? Are we wasting our money? Yeah. What can we actually do to help?
Yeah, I definitely feel like all these fads, like I remember at one point it was coconut oil, people were drinking it, doing all sorts of things. Yeah. And now how much rosemary do I use on my chicken every Sunday? Like, literally, I buy so much of it. I really, honestly, there's always a trend. Alopecia and hair loss really comes from like trauma. Like I remember, when my brother died in the middle of writing my book, and straight away I had so much hair loss. And I knew because I was just so upset, and I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating properly. I was just all over the place, so it showed on my hair. Yeah. So I feel like time, and sometimes people have alopecia and they've gone and put more braids on it, it's too much weight, or they're wearing a wig. Sometimes you just need to let oxygen get to the scalp, just leave the hair alone, and just have some patience that you're going to come to a time where you'll feel better with everything, and everything else will come together, because I feel we beat ourselves up. Oh, my hair needs to grow, or you're literally going around showing it to everyone, so they're telling you different things, and you're, sort of worried too much, and then more hair's coming out. So I really feel like patience, and sometimes too, it could be hereditary. I mean, I've seen people where the whole family have had hair loss.
Yeah, but when it comes to traction alopecia in particular, like the number one thing you should quit is any traction and friction as well. It kind of depends on when you start to notice it. A lot of people are in denial and we're like, let's just put the wig on. Let's just glue it down a little bit more. The hair follicle, there's only so much that it can take. So if you have it for longer periods of time, the chances are high that there's scarring that has occurred, and that means that the hair won't grow back. What I see a lot nowadays is, of course, we've seen hair transplants, mainly for male, but I see it a lot, especially women of color now also doing the transplants when it comes to the baby hairs, with a very high success rate because the donor area is very healthy and it's also thicker than the original baby hairs that were there. But again, even if that hair grows back, it's still sensitive when it comes to the traction. So externally, there's only so much that you can do when it comes to hair strengthening treatments to make sure that the hair that grows is strong enough. But other than that, it depends on the stage where it's at. I hope that makes sense.
Just to add to that, I actually did deal with a little bit of traction alopecia, but because I caught it so quickly, before getting to the stage of like actually needing the hair transplant, you can do some things like microneedling, or there are some like those sorts of treatments are starting to pick up traction, and there's more evidence that they work. But unfortunately, with everything, even with a hair transplant, not everything works for everybody.
True.
I've seen people that have gone and had the transplant and the hair's still thinning, the hair's still shedding.
It really depends also on where you get it done, and that there's also tests being done to make sure that the donor hair is healthy, that you are healthy. Like it's a lot of factors, but the number one thing is catch it on time and stop with the traction and friction and have patience. That's with everything.
Thank you. Do you have any more questions? Yes, please. Can we get your name and your favorite hairstyle on you, please, and then your question?
Hey.
Hi, Ate. I'm a beauty broadcaster and a founder at Angela Beauty. Check it out.
Yes.
Just launched in July. Hi, everyone. It really struck a chord with what you were saying about payment and value. It took me until I was about 37 to love my hair, and it was only because I have twin daughters who said to me, Mummy, there were three, Mummy, it's such a shame we can't be princesses because we don't have yellow straight hair. We can only be maids because we've got curly brown hair. And that's why I was like, there needs to be a change. But what you were saying about, so I spent a fortune on my hair when I was straightening it and just trying to it was a problem to fix. Yeah. But now that there's more self-love and acceptance and it's just so much easier and everything, do you think there's a link between how so many of us were brought up to devalue our hair and then actually the value that we put on the other side of loving our hair? It suddenly was like ka-ching! It just made sense to me. And what was your experiences growing up?
Well, I feel like a lot of people in our society don't really respect hairdressers anyway. They just think, oh, what, you're a hairdresser? So they already devalue your career and your profession. And then two, I just feel like they think, they will spend £300-400 on trainers and all sorts of rubbish, but they'll come and sit there, you're spending 4 hours giving them therapy, you name it, everything.
DJ.
And then you're using top quality products, and then they're like, oh, I only have this. So I think we need to change the way we think about each other's profession and bring the respect back. And also, maybe because we didn't have the salons, we had to get it done by an auntie or a sister or mum did it or grandma did it. So we just saw it like, well, I shouldn't pay too much for it, So, yeah.
I think kind of like skincare spending, when you hate your skin, you are very sporadic with the way you spend and less considered. So you'll do anything and you'll end up realizing that you spent so much money doing the wrong things that don't work for you. And it's the same thing with hair. So when I was trying to pack it away constantly, I was spending upwards of £300 a month on braids and all of that stuff. But now that I'm taking a bit more time and I love my hair a bit more, it's a lot more of a considered decision, and it feels more like I'm getting value for my money as well.
I'm really lucky because my formative years were in Nigeria. I grew up in a country where everybody was black, so I've never hated my hair. I always find it fascinating when I speak to my friends who are brought up here, and they're like, yeah, I used to wish. I've never wished. Like, I only wish sometimes I want to do an updo really easily without using gel. And that's my truth. So that's the only time I wish. But apart from that, I've always learned to value my hair and love my hair. And I think that is the thing sometimes. I think we underestimate the power of what we see in this country and how much that plays an effect and how you value what you think is beautiful and how you see yourself. So I think that's where it stems from. I have a little niece and it is my life's work to make sure she never hates her hair. So we have a hair day every 2 weeks. We'll go on Pinterest. She'll pick a hairstyle, get her ice cream, we'll get chocolate, and it's an experience. I take her to nice salons so she just feels that experience. And it's a thing I think we've now relearning to self-love. I think if we now do it with the kids of the future, if we start it with them and make them experience this pampering when it comes to their hair, it's not a chore. And I think for so long it was always ugh. But when we make them feel like it's a nice experience, I think in years to come, this whole debate of, oh, I don't love my hair, I think we can get that out of here quite quickly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You have another question here. We're going to get the mic to you 2 seconds. You know the drill. Name, favourite hairstyle and question. Here, lovely. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I failed you. I'm sorry. We'll get it back. Okay, there's one here and then we're going to come back. Okay.
Hello, my name's Liswana. My voice is nearly going. I have 2 questions. One...
Your favourite hair on you?
Oh, the one I'm wearing.
Yes.
You haven't really mentioned about natural hair, locks and sister locks. And the other part is I'm going through the menopause, so my hair's changing. What should I do?
Experts.
Yeah, I'm going through the menopause. Lots of hair loss, dryness, and again, diet. I mean, how are you? Are you taking anything? Are you on the HRT or?
Twofold. I've got the hormonal coil and HRT.
Okay, so I'm not on anything because in my family nobody went on anything, so I'm trying to do it the natural way. So what I do now, it's like everything I eat, I cook from scratch. I don't eat anything from, I want to know what's in my foods. I think we need to look at that. We need to look at sleeping. Sleeping is,
Yeah.
It's 2 things. I work shift works, so I have a work day and night.
Oh, so you work in the night?
And then I've got a 20-month-old baby.
Wow. That's amazing. You're going through the menopause and you have a 20-month-old baby.
And a 20-year-old. It's her birthday today.
Oh,
Happy birthday!
Wow. I think it's different for everyone. For me, what works for me is definitely creating peace, having a 20-month-old baby.
There's no peace.
It's no peace.
She just wants problems.
You have to give yourself a few years and, it will get better. But the hair does get drier, your skin gets drier, everything gets drier. Yeah. So you just need to just take your time. It's a process. Our parents did it and they're fine. So we just need to embrace it bit by bit. And don't be so hard on yourself. Some days you get good sleep, right? No? Oh, well, I don't have the solution to that one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We've got a question here. If I can get the mic right to the front, if that's okay. Just right to the front here. Just right to the front here. You can. There you are. Hello, hi, how are you?
Hi, is it on? Is it on?
Yeah? Yes, we can hear you, yeah.
Hi, I'm Candice.
Hi, Candice.
Favorite hairstyle is short blonde cut in the summer.
Ooh.
Say I got the braids.
Yes.
Outside the salon, in the retail space, because I'm in the black beauty retail space, what do you think is missing in the beauty supply shops when your customers are not in the salon?
Can I say that?
What do you think we can offer retail-wise in, sorry,
Retail, do you mean more products on the market?
Yeah, products and
I
stuff
feel
like
like
that.
there's
or
so
services.
much products now.
I think there's
feel
enough products.
I feel like consumers are like junkies at the moment because there's so much. Literally everywhere I look, everyone's bringing out a new brand. There's a new mask, new oil, new. Every week, like literally people, I'm seeing it everywhere. So I think what we need to look at is actually what does the consumer needs, just instead of copy and pasting, because a lot of that is going on. And people are bringing out products and brands and it's not actually selling. So we need to research more, really look at what the consumer needs. Everything that we're all bringing out has already existed, but we're making it better with quality, more organic ingredients. So what is needed in the market, that's what we need to look at. And also, who are your consumers? Who is the people that are, that need this type of help? What value is your product bringing to this group of people? And I think retail space, I feel like there's a lot of products in shops now. Maybe we need to have more education in the stores so that when you go in, you get the right advice on what your hair needs. That for sure. And obviously more doors open for us to have our products in there. But I feel like the main work right now for all of us to do is to really know what it is that we're selling. Then there will be value and there will be longevity, because otherwise it's just all going to fall on the wayside. Because there's just so much noise everywhere. It's really, really saturated to the point where it's spilling.
I would say as a retailer, I feel the same way.
Yeah, have you got a store?
I've got e-commerce at the moment, yeah.
Oh,
so
amazing.
What's
What's
the
it
name of
called?
it? There's a room of people here.
another beauty supply company because there's so many. So it's a
startup.
I don't want to go out there and look like packs. There's so much on the shelf and there's not really any quality behind the products. So I want to make sure that I'm giving the right products to my people.
Yeah, so make sure you research and find out the actual value of the products. Where is it sourced from? What does it actually do? And also, for instance, the Manketti oil, I found it in the Serengeti when I was, doing a wedding and someone used it on my hair and I loved it so much. I researched and realized that it came from Namibia, the southern part of Africa. So the more I researched, the more I loved this ingredient. And the thing is, my products are made in the UK, but all the ingredients are sourced from this part of Africa. So the money is still going back to my community. So there's value in everything I'm doing, even to the point of the bottles. So the bottles that we house all the oils in, I use them to put my flowers in. If I'm having a dinner party, I sometimes put my candles in to burn them as well. So there's value in everything that I'm doing. It's not just about I'm putting a product out. It's more about my legacy, my community, and also any young person out there that wants to come out with a brand to do it well. Because for me, we're excellent. We need to do things on that high level and vibrate high all the time.
Yeah, I would say authentication. Because what I realize that happens in some of these other shops is for example, not naming any names, but Packs or anything like that is...
Not naming them names, but Packs, P-A-K-S.
No, I just want to be realistic, is that the products are not the real products. The authentication. So for me, buying now, I don't buy from those places. I actually buy from a direct person, from the source. So if not, I'm not doing it because I feel like there's China made for everything. So, and you feel like you're using something and you feel like, oh, why is it not working? But it's because you're not using the real thing. So I think for you, it would be good for us.
Can I just add to that and say that I've definitely seen a few, this is skincare related, e-commerce sites where the ingredient list is not fully listed. I think having things like that, having drop down how-tos on your website, really harping on that education so people really understand what they're purchasing and creating that in-store experience online really makes a world of a difference and gives you that returning customer.
I
also want to touch on that because there's a lot of good products out there, but then the consumer doesn't necessarily understand how to use the products correctly. So I feel like it's important to, like Alicia said, have a how to prepare your hair to use this product correctly to get the best benefits out of it.
Yeah, it still falls back on education.
Do you have any other questions in the room? Oh, okay. We've got the people going. I'm not going to pick now. You go ahead, guys, with the mics. Hello.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name's Tina. I like the short tapered look. This is outgrown at the moment for the winter, but in the summer it'll be shaved with designs and things.
Ah, nice.
But the problem I have is I'll go to a hairdresser, get the initial haircut, but they can't cut sides, they can't shape up, so I have to go to a barber's. So it's finding a barber, usually males, who can actually follow what the woman wants without it looking too masculine. Do you have any suggestions of...
I think there's a lot of salons that are good at tapering cuts. You just need to research. Yeah, maybe go for a consultation. That's why I'm always like harping on about consultation. Go in. Consultations in most salons are free. In my salon, it's complimentary. And just have a look around, chat to them, see, because you would know from talking to someone if they could do the job or not. And I think there's a lot of amazing hairstylists out there that can taper your sides and still trim your top so that you have that shape. You don't have to go here and then run there. So I think just research more. There's definitely a lot of salons. My salon, for instance, you can.
Yeah. Nice. Is there any other questions? Okay.
Hi, my name is Eunice, and my favorite hairstyle is the ponytail.
Nice.
At the moment, I love the one where the ladies do with the front stump. I love that. So my question for you ladies today, you've been in the industry for quite a while, and I'm just wondering, there's quite a few young women, men in the audience who might want to get into the industry and are not quite sure what kind of path to follow, what route, how to do things, what to do, what not to do. And I'd love to hear your different perspectives on what advice you'd give somebody who's just starting up.
And can we have that in all the different spaces you're in? We have content creators, we have, all the different spaces will be great.
So at my salon, Elite Hair Lounge, we offer apprenticeships, which allows you to come into the salon from age 16 once you leave school and train with us. We'll sign you up to a private academy for hair, and we offer training in salon once a week. You work full-time in salon, minimum of 30 hours. You're with us for 2 years training until you become a qualified hairdresser. We train for Afro and European hair, and then hopefully once you're actually qualified, we're able to keep you on and continue your journey with us or wherever you decide to go or whatever path you decide to take. But as a young person wanting to get into hair, it's very important to gain your qualification. My recommendation is for an apprenticeship so that you leave college feeling confident and actually ready for shop floor, if that's what you choose to do. Because I have found in my experience when people go to college and don't have any workspace experience, they leave not ready to actually do hair and still have to go back to training once they actually join a salon. So yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, I think definitely that's the top one to do. There's also lots of platforms like L'Oreal Access. They have the beginner's course. Also, even as young as 13, I remember I started doing hair when I was 13. There might be your favorite salon down the street on your road, or like someone on Instagram that you like, or someone that you really admire. Message them, go in, do some work experience, start from Saturday girl, being in there, or Saturday boy, and learn. I mean, you would only know from practicing, but if it's really your passion, I definitely feel like all the people that you really admire and you really respect and you want to be like them, reach out to them. You'd be surprised how many people are willing to invite you along to shadow them. Maybe they're doing shoots, you can come and help and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I would, oh, sorry. Yeah. So for me, I feel like I came from the YouTube world and I've always wanted to teach people on how to make wigs, and I used to say, specialize in something. I specialized in a wig, everything to do with wigs. So I remember I have YouTube videos on literally how to make a wig from start to finish. It's free to watch. So if someone that is upcoming and they need, if someone is upcoming and they feel the need to learn, that is one of the ways to learn. And I also have classes. I have master classes, and I also have e-learning courses online that teaches you literally how to make wigs. Obviously with the e-learning ones that I have, they are broken down into sections, and I feel like you just need to be an expert on whatever field you want to be in. And I feel like that is the key. And there's so many ways to get to it. There's a lot of free ways to get to it. If you want to pay for it, it's also possible. But just educate yourself as much as possible. Like try to be number one in that field.
Yeah, we do workshops as well, but that's mainly to kind of help families, especially mixed families that do not know how to handle their children's hair. And we're literally traveling the world with it. So there's so much out there. You just need to find your path and just keep asking questions, and don't be afraid. Have that confidence to reach out to people. If you sometimes people message me, it would take me maybe 2 months to get back to them, but at least I got back to them. So I always say, the squeaky wheel gets the most oil. So keep asking. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, I think for me, I started as a content creator doing hair tutorials, and what I started to notice was I got a lot of DMs with people who had certain type of scalp and hair issues, and I didn't feel educated enough to give my tips and tricks. So I think it comes from passion, where you're like, I want to give tips, but I want to make sure that what I say is as is. So that's where I started to do my studies, and I was really a late bloomer, so you're never too old to learn. I'm studying right now as we speak as well. But that's also what made me feel confident enough, knowing that any advice that I'm giving, that's backed up with something and not just me Googling it and giving you an answer. So it also depends on which road you want to take with it, and I wanted to be the best in what I could do, and that's how I started doing what I do right now.
I would also say decide what part of the industry you want to be in. Like, there's so many different angles of hair. Like, I do not have a salon, but I do like product development, which would cover like the back end of things. There's so many different courses and stuff that you can take where you already have transferable skills. So I did biomedical science, and I qualified as an esthetician, and all of the experience that I had from developing products in skincare is also transferable to hair care as well.
I would say the most sort of beneficial thing that I've done is found a mentor. So if you are stuck and you are lost and you cannot find the answer on YouTube, somebody out there knows how to do it. So I would second what everybody else said, reach out to people. Most people will sort of reply back, give you advice. We know how hard it is out here. So I would say the best thing to do is find somebody who can sort of teach you the ways and stuff. If you have questions, you'd have somebody to go to. The internet is a very big place, and a lot of the times, sometimes you can't find what you're looking for. So my best advice would be to reach out to someone and try and find a mentor.
Thank you. More questions? Great. You've got the mic, haven't you? Go on, babe. No, it's on.
Oh, hello. Hi. So my favorite hairstyle is the one that I'm sporting right now, my little finger whiz. So I kind of wanted to ask your opinion on something. So obviously it's no secret that black women are some of the biggest consumers of like hair and beauty products, and yet on the business end it's not really owned by us, and so I feel like all the money from our community is going out, but it's not really getting like invested back in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like all the shops are not owned by black people. We saw that incident recently in like Peckham and things like that. And I feel like, especially with like cost of living, a lot of girls, like I used to have like massive curly hair and I chopped it off because I just couldn't be arsed and it was too expensive to kind of like maintain. So it's like you either go to your local hair shop and just get cheap and cheerful, or you're spending like loads and loads of money to like get the good products. So like, what's your opinion on the business side of it and like finding like a good middle ground to get products?
I think you have to just, obviously, like you said, it's all to do with your budget. So you have to kind of find I mean, there's so many brands out there that have different medium price range to premium prices. So you got to try the ones that you feel would work for your hair type. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like there isn't really, I mean, when you say cheap, what's cheap? There's not, even Kera Care is like, what, £14 a shampoo?
Cheap is subjective.
Yeah, so it's like, it all depends on what your hair needs as well and what works for your hair. Because I have, like, my products, they are premium prices, but there's so much gone into it. A lot of experts, a lot of time, and the quality of the ingredients. But I do offer it in a smaller size. But then our hair is so much that then the smaller size doesn't last long. So most people want to purchase the bigger sizes. So I think, yeah, I really feel like it's, honestly, it's up to the individual. And I totally own all of my business. I don't have no investors or anything. And, you know, I feel like everything I do, I'm putting it back into my community. And I feel like there's more people like me that I'm seeing everywhere as well. Every day I'm reading about someone. Yeah. So I think we're getting there, but it's a process, and that time will come where it will just be normal.
For us.
It will definitely happen. I'm hoping it's in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think we speak about community a lot, but in order for community to work, community needs to take part. And I think there are many black-owned stores that people don't go to. Community doesn't work if we all don't take part in it. It lacks. Many people have started a shop, opened this, lack of support, lack of convenience. People don't do it. Community will always fail if community don't take part in it. And I think we all talk the talk. Oh, we don't own our things. We don't do this. We don't do this. But as soon as someone offers it cheaper, you're going to go there. As soon as it feels more convenient, suddenly this emphasis you have for community lacks. And I talk about it like this because I feel so passionate about it, right? And I want the money to go back to us. Every day I think about, if there was a race war, we will lose. No, and then that's not lack of strength, of lack of numbers. It's because we do not come together as a community. I think racism is one of the best jobs ever done. They smashed it. Because generations down the line, we're still doing it to each other. Okay, sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but I feel very deeply about this.
Yeah, but also, I feel like supporting someone, it doesn't mean you have to,
buy
of course,
from them.
of course,
share their products.
put it on Instagram. Of course, it's good to, I mean, like, you know, I sell candles at like £64, and I know some of the girls that will buy it, they're like, oh no, it's too much, but they'll probably buy it once, or they'll get it for a friend, and then that friend who has that budget can afford to buy it. But I feel like supporting is not just, I could post something and you could say, oh my God, it's amazing. I have some Jewish friends, honestly. They opened a bakery across the road from my salon. We couldn't believe it for 2 weeks. We're like, how come there's so much people in there? It's all their friends and family. Just making it look busy. So anyone that walked past would be like, oh, what's going on in there? I want to go in there. And now they are so busy. But we're so busy like, oh, this is jollof rice from Ghana. This is this from that. We're dividing ourselves up all the time for no reason.
I believe that, I feel like the community, I feel like we support each other, but my thing is, there's something to do with entitlement and support. I think those are two different things, because support comes in so many different ways, but you're not entitled. I think that there's an entitled, like, you have to support me. No one has to support you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? However, it would be nice, but then again, I feel like our community support each other, but they just do it in the ways they can do it. It's like, even if it's just sharing, like you said, sharing the messages, like, I feel like a lot of clients that I have that have come to my to the studio these days to get their wigs, is like, their daughter have told them that this is the only way they can come to get their wigs. Their niece, my niece said that this is the only way I have to come to get my wig. But it's all to do with that. It goes round. And I feel like the more we do it, the more we will own everything. So, but we're coming up.
Yeah, and also I feel like sometimes we hit each other with the hardest stick. We do. Yeah, like the way someone will just, one little thing will go wrong, they will tell the whole world, oh, they're this, they're that. But remember, we're all together, we're great. When we're divided, because the more you're bashing that person, they're losing customers. Next thing, they don't have a business, and your community is going down the drain. So what we got to be is mindful on how we speak about each other. You know, you don't know someone. Someone's saying something bad about them and you're agreeing. You don't even know them. You know, this is what we do. Half of the problems is how we speak about each other.
Yeah, just to piggyback what Charlotte said, my thing is, I feel like there is this extra, like, vim for hair salons. Like, you know, like, so it's like, for example, if you're 2 seconds late, it's like they hold you to more accountable and everything like that. I understand it, but it's like you're doing a whole Twitter write-off on it. But it's like, this is something we could have done, like, oh, has happened. You know, I'm so sorry. Like, there's so many ways we can approach things, but I feel like sometimes they have you on a...
I think our community needs to give each other more grace.
Grace.
I think there's a support and there is grace that needs to come into it as well. This company started 2 weeks ago. ASOS haven't delivered your order in 4 weeks.
For
You didn't do a
20
thread about it. Like, just allow some grace. We have very limited times. I can take time for one more question. I am not going to pick, so whoever has the mic. Okay, dokes.
Hi.
Hi.
My favorite haircut is a level 1 with a line on the side. I've been studying through observation of the ladies and women and girls in my life about last year or so, and have come to understand that there's a lot of technological advancements, you could say, in hair, but there seems to be a lot of learning through experimentation. And from what I'm observing that we're talking about today, there seems to be like a massive information gap. And my background is in magazines. And I'm thinking about Ebony, Jet, Essence, and how those were African American orientated magazines. But how important do you think journalism is right now? Because you ladies seem to have the information that not everyone has the time to sacrifice their life to understand. So do you think TikTok, YouTube, and all these things is really a healthy sort of way to get this information? Or do you think we need a bit more, you can call it an institution, but a bit more of a forum that can archive the technology, archive techniques, and maybe that could help close the gap between luxury and these smaller businesses? You know, does that make any sense?
No, it does, and I can help because I was a beauty journalist for years, and there are many platforms. There's Black Hair and Beauty, there's Black Ballad, and they talk to experts. They are like the middle ground to get from the consumer, from the expert to the consumer. So these platforms are definitely available. I think with TikTok, it feels like it's quick. You go on TikTok, you search how to lay a wig, and a video comes up. And yes, those things are useful. And they're needed for people who just want quick information. Some consumers want quick information, some want an education. And is journalism important? Yo. Sorry, it's getting recorded, let me stop. It's a hard industry, and all of the black industries who like specialize in it, it's hard to get advertising, it's hard to get money, it's difficult. I remember at a point I was working at BuzzFeed and I was a beauty editor there, and I remember a black woman asking me like, why didn't you go for like a black beauty magazine instead? The pay. Firstly, the pay, and also secondly, why can't I, as a black woman, black beauty editor, work for a mainstream platform and talk about black hair? These things, BuzzFeed was so accessible to everybody. Why can't I talk about what I talk about there? So I do think these things are important, but I don't think we need to make them niches. It's not a niche. Look how many of us are in here. Black hair is not a niche. So I understand the education. I think it's important, but I would say I think the TikTok is needed, and I also think for those who want deep education, you can actually very easily find it. It's about wanting to go look for it.
I will say I do journalism light, so not really deep journalism, but what I've experienced in this industry, like when I've written for Refinery, is that you have to really weave the black experience into like what they see as like regular articles. Otherwise, like trying to make something solely about black people is really, really difficult. Like it will just not get picked up at all. So you really have to just weave it in there, and in those sorts of publications, that's where you get like your facts, and then it will kind of trickle down to TikTok, and then eventually you get some misinformation, but like it can come back around and you'll come full circle. But journalism is really hard. Like if you see journalists now, like a lot of them are quitting. It's a really difficult industry to be in. So the ones that you do like and you do see their work, share it, enjoy it, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I do also think that there's a big shift within both Instagram and TikTok where from a brand perspective, at least is what I notice, is that they're also looking for more experts. Like I would say like 3 years ago, nobody wanted me to create content when it comes to the hair and scalp science, and I did it, but it didn't go viral, it didn't do that much. And nowadays, I also notice that there's a whole big wave also with skincare that people are really also looking for the experts online to get their information from. But it also depends as a consumer what you want. Like, do you want that information, or do you want the clickbait? Do you want the going viral things? Because 9 out of 10 times educational content in general, and I think it's the same in journalism, isn't going viral.
I think what I wanted to say to what you're saying was, when you watch TikTok, take it with a little bit of salt, because those videos takes about 4 hours to do, and we give you only 10 seconds or 60 seconds of a 4 hours video. So when I say to everyone, just like even with YouTube, sometimes it took me 6 hours to shoot a video from start to finish, but nobody wants to watch the 6 hours. So I will give you a 20 minutes version of it. So that's just here and there. I think that's why I started doing the e-learning, because I feel like with e-learning was like a proper, if you want to learn. It's a professional stuff. It's like if you want to learn it, go to the website, you spend 45 minutes, you rewind, you set it back to actually learn. So my thing is just the TikToks and the YouTube videos, just take them with a little salt.
I think the TikToks are needed to sort of get the information out there, especially to the younger generation, but I think we still need the journalism for when you want to actually do the research. I think TikTok is great for just giving you 5 minutes or less than that, snippets of things people are looking for, but you need the actual long spread, the information, the actual knowledge on like websites and whatnot. And I think it's also a lot easier to find, I'd rather find black hair care stuff in like BuzzFeed. I think it's easier for people to find the information that way than rather just going to a niche place. People are more likely to click on something that's more general. And I think having black hair care in more of the general stuff should just be it should be a normal thing. But yeah, I still think TikTok is needed. TikTok, YouTube, all of that stuff, still needed. But yeah, I think both are needed, really.
We have run out of time. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I'm sorry I have to end it there. Give a round of applause to our ladies. Enjoy the rest of your day. Experience the love. Feel beautiful. And thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.